Happy Wednesday, beautiful people. Okay. There's a bit of a pause there. I was in the midst of doing something. I was moving slower than my time on the video. But anyway, happy Wednesday, beautiful people. It is September the 20th, 2023, day 106 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1486. Today, we're going to read chapter 22 in the book of Fragapati. And then we'll see how much time we're working with today. Last 2 days, I said we're going to hop back to chapter 43 in the Holy Megillah. But if chapter 22, look at it right now. Oh, yeah, it's only 14 verses. But then we'll see after we start reading if I feel like I need to read another chapter. We might not get over to the Holy Megillah. But as of right now, I think we're going to get over to the Holy Megillah. Thank you, Mother. There we go. Please be patient with our growth. I like how y'all be paying attention. All right. I'm trying to work in a new stream starting soon, and I didn't want the banner running across the bottom of the stream starting soon, which is why I forgot to do it. You know, when I'm implementing, y'all get it. I ain't got to keep saying that. It take a few days for it to stick, right? Where I remember everything. Practice makes perfect. All right, beautiful people. Father, we thank you that you are an amazing historian, all right? Because who can create as much as our creator created and have a conversation with you like he just did it like 2 minutes ago? Oh, yeah. No, but that was 4,427 years ago, right? So when he lived, I'm like, what? All right, beautiful people. Let's see who all here. Tabitha, hey girl, hey. Misha, hey girl, hey. Rise and shine. Family, shalom. Sis Misha, mentor here. Jamia, hey girl, hey. Peace, sister. Tabitha, greetings to the Eola family and our sister, teacher Pammy. Mom, shalom, shalom. Jamia and Tabitha saying hi back and forth to one another. Elijah, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, beloved family. May the Creator ever present be with you. Yes, and amen. Derek, what's going on, fam? Shalom, Levon. Shalom, shalom. She said blessings, everyone. And everybody here hanging out in the background already. Top of the day to you. All right, y'all, let's get moving. You know what? Let me tell you something. I don't know why we have such a hard time getting our own selves to do something. And it's so easy to program these bodies. I think the biggest thing we have to fight with is our mind and our free will, right? But programming these bodies is the simplest thing in the world, right? It's the simplest thing in the world. You can test that principle. Just listen to a song 3 times in a row. Your organic entity will begin to sing that song in the background by itself, mindless, and you won't even realize it till somebody, why you keep singing it? Oh, I didn't even realize I was singing that song. My kids kept playing the Disney Channel or playing that song. The way the subconscious, I'm gonna say it right, subconscious, the way that works. If you study the way that works, and I'm really realizing how powerful the subconscious is because it picks up everything in the background, right? So let me put my flute music in the background. I'm saying all that because I remember to do my music before I started running my mouth. Like seriously, like I was listening to a song yesterday, driving the car, just bumping it, right? Wake up in the morning, the song is already playing on the inside of me. I'm like, not necessarily a song I want to wake up to, but you know, you feeling a little ratchet, kind of throw off your morning a little bit if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Oh yeah, mindful meditation. All right, y'all. Okay. Chapter 22 begins on page 198 in the WASP, yes, in the background. All right, y'all. Chapter 22, or if you didn't write out the chapters or if you're following electronically, is chapter XXI in the book of Fragapati. All right. Fragapati sent messengers to Hapacha, god of Ipsogy, apprising him of the visit. So Hapacha hastily called his lords and captains and fathers, preparing a time of recreation and also preparing suitable reception and entertainment. And Hapacha provided in this manner. First, 100,000 musicians formed in 8 parts of a circle with 8 intervening spaces. With each group, he provided 1,000 marshals, and they stood in front of the musicians with 8 intervening spaces also. Next, within, he provided places for the messengers, of whom there were 300,000. Then next came the Asaphs, of whom there were 1 million. Next came the Ashars, of whom there were 2 million. Next came the nurses and physicians. Next, the teachers in factories and schools and colleges. And of all of these, there were 14,600,000. So, okay, so the Asaphs, I be getting this mixed up sometime. Correct me if I get it backwards. Okay, so the Asaphs and the Ashars are like your guardian angels, right? One is here on the earth with you. Actually, you get more than one. You get a team because they tag team in and out on the Sabbath days, right? Rest and recreation. They need a break from your foolishness, right? So you got a team that works with you while you walk the earth, right? And then upon your death, they will escort you to your Asaph, right? Asaph is the one that takes you when you're fully born in spirit, and then they place you where you need to go, or they place you in the grade that you graduated to or didn't graduate to when you give up your ghost, right? Okay. Asaph, Ashar. Matter of fact, let me just look it up real quick. Asaph. Okay, Ashars are guardian angels over mortals, and the Asaphs. Right, Asaph. I said it backwards. Hold on. What should it say first? Asaphs. Asaphs, I think I said it backwards. Yep, I said it backwards because it gave Asaphs first. Okay, the Asaphs are the ones who receive your spirits. They receive the spirits of the dead in heaven. And the Ashars are your guardian angels, your team of guardian angels while you walk the earth. Okay, all right. Kings and Queens Coaching Group, shalom, shalom. I realized yesterday when I paid a little bit more attention after the video as I was going back through. I realized there was one from YouTube, which is the capital letters, and the ones that aren't was Facebook. Okay. All right. Verse 2, page 198. And Hapacha provided in this manner. First, 100,000 musicians formed in 8 parts of a circle with 8 intervening spaces. With each group, he provided 1,000 marshals, and they stood in front of the musicians with 8 intervening spaces also. Next, within, he provided places for the messengers, of whom there were 300,000. Then next came the Asaphs, of whom there were 1 million. Remember, Asaphs, they receive your spirits once you're fully born in spirit, of whom then next came the Asaphs, of whom there were 1 million. Next came the Ashars, the guardian angel teams that walk with you on earth, of whom there were 2 million. Next came the nurses and physicians. Next, the teachers in factories and schools and colleges. And of all of these, there were 14,600,000. Of the first grade above, the Ezians, there were 20 million. Of the second grade, which was the highest, there were 30 million, but no Ezians were present. You know what? This ain't got nothing to do with the tea in China, but a thought just hit me. A thought just hit me about The Law of One. Remember we was talking about that book? The woman, I forget her name now, but anyway, they were talking to a group of what do they call them? Ra, right? R-A. Don't get it confused with Egypt and all that stuff. But they called themselves Ra, which was a group of them, right? A class of them that was talking, or a class of angels at a particular level of understanding in the spirit. They were talking. It was a group of three of them. The woman was the one that was getting the information coming through her channeling, whatever you want to call it. And her two other associates, friends or whatever. But somewhere doing that, I don't know why it just popped out. But anyway, if you read it, do you remember the part in there where it was talking about it was about laughter and a sense of humor. I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to look it up now. But they was talking about how some of the angels, they were, I ain't gonna say they frequented comedy clubs, right? But this I don't know why. Okay, but there are some of them that are learning like how the sense of humor of man works, right? I forget it, but it's a part in there. I don't know if y'all remember that, but there's a part in there where it talks about like what are they doing, and like, because it was still really unclear that spirits aren't perfect when you die, right? So it makes sense now to me on why spirits of the dead, or those who are fully born, are studying the sense of humor of humans, right? If they're doing that, they must be of a lower class, and possibly of those who actually didn't get to live a physical life. Maybe they were stillborn, or they died in infancy before they actually got to experience that, which would probably be why they're studying it. And it could be they're just studying and it could not be them. It could be an older class of spirits who is just studying like if you would study A&P, the human anatomy, right? And they could just be going through all the unseen things and how that work. I don't know. Yeah, it just popped in my head. Elijah said, Johnny James, what's going on, fam? You're welcome. Elijah said the Council of Ra is the Council of Ra. Yeah, the Council of Ra. Thank you. The Council of Ra is the angels of love and peace in the sixth pillar of existence. Correct. They confirmed the WASP to be true. They actually did confirm a WASP to be true. When I was going through that, I'm like, what? Well, I guess it shouldn't have blown me away. But this was when I was first learning about a WASP and just kind of going through it or whatever. And it blew my mind, because I think it was probably about maybe 2 months in reading a WASPy, and I'm still kind of like, I don't know, but we're going through it. We putting a WASPy on the table too, just to, before I start saying anything about it or cracking jokes, got to put it on the table, right? But I think it was about 2 months in where I came across that, and I bought the Audible version, and I let it play, so I was listening to it for days because it's really, really long. But when that part came up, it blew my mind that they would even ask the question about a WASPy. They asked about a WASPy, which, like I said, they confirmed to be true, the information in here. And then they asked about, I think it was, they asked about, what is the other one we're going to read? I think it was the Urantia papers. I think they asked about that. They weren't as... Let's just say they didn't say the same thing about the Urantia papers that they said about a WASPy, but they said that the Urantia papers were, for lack of a better word, I forget what word they used, it was channeled through another group of spirits who are lower than the ones who help to bring a WASP or help to channel a WASPy here to where we could actually like understand some principles in the written form, right? If I remember that correctly, Elijah, I'm not sure if you remember that part, but I think it was the Urantia. Okay, yes, he said that the Urantia and the Akashic records are false, right? Okay, I forgot about the Akashic records, but yeah, it's crazy, right? Because I started looking into the Akashic records a little bit too. I ain't really get too far with it. I was still from what they were. We ain't gonna get into it. It said it was false. But I didn't get too far on it yet. So I just kind of put it aside as I was going through it, you know. All right. Yeah. Meant to say are false. Okay. All right. But yeah, while I was just reading this, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna come across something or reread something, but I don't know. It just okay. Listen. Verse 3. Of the grade first above the Ezians, there were 20 million. Of the second grade, which was the highest, there were 30 million, but no Ezians were present. In the midst of the circle was the throne of Hapacha, now extended so as to accommodate his lords. To the south of his throne were the seats of the captains of the host. In a crescent were his counselors, of whom there were 1 million. Hapacha, having thus called them together and having explained to but a few of them the purpose, now addressed them, saying, by the wisdom and power of Jehovah, I speak before you. That which I say is not of myself, more than of the faith I have in Jehovah, of which faith ye are likewise blessed. Since our youth up, we have been advised by the guardian angels, their lords and God, to be firm in faith in Jehovah above all things. For it was declared to us in the olden times that there was a higher heaven and a lower heaven, and that through faith in the Father, we should all ultimately ascend and dwell in his holiness kingdoms. That we should ultimately all ascend and dwell in his holiness kingdoms. Oh, I'm sorry. I said holiness. In his holiest kingdoms. For which reason ye have been steady workers, since your mortal lives have been put away. Hold on. I'm just reading like too fast and too slow. For which reason ye have been steady workers, since your mortal lives have been put away, even for this kingdom, raising up many and causing them to rejoice in everlasting life. But as it has been promised ye beforehand that the gods above us would surely come and deliver all who are prepared for the next resurrection, even so, to this day, cherish ye the hope for wider fields of labor, where ye may overtake your kindred and others who have become wise in Jehovah's light. The time of that resurrection is near at hand for many of you. Our Father hath brought this heaven into a lighter region, that ye may be prepared for that still greater light beyond. And because of the new light that is with us, ye have beholden that many of the Ehuan Ezians have deserted our nurseries and gone back to the earth, for they love the darkness of earth more than they love the light of heaven. Verse 10. My lords have sent messengers to me from various parts of the earth, saying to me, as much as they have deserted our places in heaven, even so much as the Ezians return to mortals in great numbers. My lords have sent messengers to me from various parts of the earth, saying to me, as much as they have deserted your places in heaven, even so much have the Ezians returned to mortals in great numbers. And it hath come to pass that great manifestations of spirit presence are now common to men and women and children on earth. So it just get greater as the times go on, right? Because we should be developing in spirit. That's what we're here for as entities, to develop in all areas, right? All parts of who we are. Many of these Ezians, falling in with Druhas, have adopted their roving habits, denying that there is any higher heaven, honestly believing that they will have an opportunity to reincarnate themselves and dwell again in mortal form. Knowing no higher heaven than the earth, and knowing no happiness save the indulgence of lust, they appear to mortals and marry in manifestation, falsely pretending to be the kin of the living, which is why, right? Which is why we read in the Bible, even though you just is okay, so you got to be careful, right? So there's this scripture in the Old Testament that says that you should not talk to the spirits of the dead, right? Don't consult the witch that's gonna call up spirits, because why? You could be fooled. And it most of the time, especially, okay, so first of all, let's just understand this. If you're walking in the light of the Creator and the light of the Father of heaven, the Most High, whatever you want to refer to him as, right? If you're walking in that light as you grow, you don't necessarily need a word from beyond the grave, right? Because a lot of times that's what people do. It's like in church or whatever, Pastor, I need a word, or a prophet is the prophet in town, I'm gonna go get me a word. You get yourself in trouble by doing that. It's the same. I realize that's the same thing as calling up spirits of the dead, right? Because you go to call them up. Those who are higher is not hanging around here, right? Though remember, there is one heaven that is superimposed upon the earth where there's high spiritual activity, right? You got what Christianity call it demonic activity or angelic activity, but either way, it's humans who've already been born fully spirit, and they are the ones a lot of the times responding to those calling for a word or trying to get a word from beyond the grave, right? Don't do it, right? Which is now why at first I was like, well, why is it gonna say this? Because we got a shards and they be talking to us, and all of this is like it kind of throw me off. So I was, at times I get on the outskirts with the Bible with different things until I realized what was happening, right? So as you grow and you learn how to decipher the spirits and the voices that you hear, and you grow enough to where you don't need mommy and daddy to hold your hand as you're developing in spiritual things, some things will become really, really clear, right? And a lot of times, instead of praying about everything, which is it's like, okay, this might sound like blasphemy, but hear me out. Okay, right? And I am not against prayer at all. I still pray. But I realize, right? Because think about before I say that, right? Babies, everything we do, we can see it all over the earth, right? Babies, infants need help from their parents, siblings, as they're growing, as they're learning how to walk. You got siblings down on the floor playing with you. Come on, walk to me, going back and forth between siblings or mom and dad or whoever, right? In school, elementary school, you got tutors and teachers as you're learning how to do addition and multiplication, right? But as you get older, you are not only are you required to become more independent, children, when they learn how to do things, if they haven't been tainted, if they're still growing in a holistic way, they will, I got this, don't do it. Mommy, I know how to do it. Don't tie my shoe. It's just built in us to develop and begin to do things on our own, right? We develop a sense of independence on our own. It's organic. It's supposed to happen that way, right? Just like, mommy, I need help, I can't reach that on the counter, or right, that's akin to prayer, right? Asking for help. As we get older, if we don't continue to grow organically, we tend to constantly ask mommy and daddy for help, right? And a lot of times we don't get answer, or our prayers go unanswered. Not that they don't hear them. Mom, I'm hungry. Go in the kitchen and fix you something to eat. Ain't you gonna cook? No. Right? You're old enough, you can do it yourself. So a lot of times a lot of people take that same mindset when it comes to prayer. So now I remember OCU, he probably hear in the background. And at first when he said this, just because I was like, I don't know that I quite agree with that. And he had mentioned something about prayer. But now here, after almost a year later, I understand exactly what he's talking about clearly. He's way older, higher developed spiritually than I am, but now I understand what he was saying about prayer, right? Sometimes prayer can be used as a crutch, right? And sometimes prayer can and will immobilize you because, and I always say it, like I said, it might sound like blasphemy, but if you use prayer when you should be using your own strength, your own hands, your own ability to cause things to come to pass, you're going to stunt yourself. And it's not that our Father's ignoring your prayers. It's like, why are you asking me to send you a car? First of all, you ain't got your license. And the creator's not going to say any of this because all of these things should be apparent to us. How you 47 years old and ain't got your license? You got fines and all of it, or whatever the case may be. That's just an example, right? You don't need to pray about that. The Father, first of all, if I send you a car and you get pulled over, your license may be, depending on why you ain't got your license in the first place, you get the ticket. You're gonna open yourself up to a whole host of other problems. And the creator is not for making your life worse just for the heck of it, just because you want it, right? So sometimes prayer can be used as a crutch and is used as a crutch. And people think, well, I'm just gonna wait on Jesus. I'm gonna wait on the Lord. I'm praying, sister, I'm praying about it. Oh, you don't like it? Well, pray for me then. Pray for me. God bless you. I'm like, heifer, I will smack you in the right in the middle of a church. Right. So I get kind of perturbed because it's like, you 47 years old, asking mommy and daddy to take your hand and help you walk across the street. Like, there is no development here. There is no development whatsoever. Right. So now I understand what he was talking about. You really do not have to pray about everything. And even though I'm in communication with the Father, right, I'm not asking, oh, can you help me with this? Like, I'm doing something, because if I'm going to get what I'm asking for, I have to be prepared for what it is I'm asking for. And if I'm not prepared, that's what holds up prayers, your lack of preparation. And if you get something before the time, it's going to destroy you. And this could take a whole bunch of terms, right? But prayer is literally like not that you should ever just like, I don't need prayer no more, right? Because we have those moments. As you get older, I just need to call and talk to mom, or I need to call and talk to dad, or just, so you have it. But it's not as misused when you get older and you understand that you are to take responsibility for your own life. Right now, you can reach out for help and you can ask for unseen assistance when you have exhausted all resources, right? But until then, don't even think about it. Like, that's what I'm understanding on why things are not happening. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, right? So spiritual things, to me, at least at this point, it's really clear when you're able to see it here in the physical realm. And all things that we should be learning, we can find an example here all the way around us, right? Everywhere, on every level, there are examples. Brian Joe, what's going on, fam? Elijah said, I skipped. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits, principalities, and high places. Oh, that was for when we was talking about calling up the spirits of the dead. You said what manifests in the spirit world has to also physically manifest as well in the physical world. I absolutely agree. All right. And if you become really good, you can I don't know how I can say this. You can kind of maybe reverse engineer things, so to speak, right? So if you understand what's happening, well, okay, so sometimes most people, we really don't understand what's happening in the spiritual world till things happen and play out here. But the more you become in tune with the spiritual realm and what's happening there, you can see that and prepare here to adjust the outcome if it's going in the wrong direction, right? You can like I said, you can kind of like reverse engineer it if you're tapped in. So like, oh, well, I know how that's going to play out here on this plane with these principles that we have to work with here. So we might need to adjust this now before we get here. Otherwise, we're going to run into another whole host of problems, right? Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, girl, hey. All right, let's go back. Where was we at? Oh, verse 11. Let's just read verse 11 again. Many of these Esians, falling in with Juhas, have adopted their roving habits, denying that there is any higher heaven, honestly believing honestly believing they will have an opportunity to reincarnate themselves and dwell again in mortal form, which they don't. Once they're a fully born spirit, those who are hanging around here, that's what you call it. They think they're going to reincarnate, but literally they possess the entities here, right? That's them. That's possessing people is their way of being born again, because it can't happen, right? You have spirits who are ancient, that are stubborn, that refuse to grow, that are still walking on this first heaven, messing with people in every new generation, right? They get a kick out of it. Many of these Ezians falling in with Juhas have adopted their roving habits, denying that there is any higher heaven, honestly believing they will have an opportunity to reincarnate themselves and dwell again in mortal form. Knowing no higher heaven than the earth and knowing no happiness save in the indulgence of lust, they appear to mortals and marry in manifestation, falsely pretending to be the kin of the living. That's what we pause at the chat. Verse 12, page 199 at the top. The sign forerunneth the approach of a new dawn of Dan near at hand. Being thus doubly armed in prophecy, your God called you to witness the words and proceedings of Fragapati, who is who is on his way hither, accompanied by Yatanti, god of Yatanti, creator of Hachadawa. For more than 600 years, many of us, for more than 600 years, many of us have labored in this field, and our harvests for Gal have been the most esteemed of all resurrections contributed by the lords of earth. To comport with our dignity, I have commanded the builders of Otavans to have in readiness, representing these harvests, a vessel for my lords and their attendants and my chief marshal to go part way and meet our visitors, bearing the sign of the triangle and of fruits and the altar. Hapasha then gave instruction in full, and presently the receiving host departed in the Otavan with music rejoicing, being cheered by the host remaining. In the meantime, Hapasha caused the house to be put in order.
Like you saying good morning to me, like I just didn't wake up with you.
I don't know. It's a habit. I'm gonna say top of the day.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you be like
Or
good
hey,
morning.
hey.
Like I don't live in this house or something. Like I just walked.
No, because I thought when you came down, I thought you were Jeremiah. Okay. Until I realized it was you.
Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. What movie you know about it?
That's the. Oh, I was about to say that's the Cheerios commercial. with the Honey Nut Cheerio.
Low Down Dirty Shame.
What did they say that on Low Down Dirty Shame? They didn't say that. And I grew up with that movie.
Shame. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Probably when that was We Stuck. They said we stuck. The Wayne brothers went around the turnstile twice. They said we stuck. More money. More Money. You know what I'm talking about?
See, I ain't watch More Money that often.
Okay. Yeah.
Where that come from, y'all? Is it More Money?
Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't.
No. Almond Joys got nuts. Mounds don't, because
no, that's not.
Sometimes it's just the almond commercial.
It is that, but then no. They said it in the movie too.
Okay, but they got it from the Almond Joy commercial though, right?
Yeah, they could. I was just saying, yeah. You don't remember?
No, I didn't watch More Money like
that. I was just checking on you. See if you know your movies.
I'm about to say I know my movies.
Okay. Oh man.
All right, y'all. Look, where we at? We got like 10 minutes. All right, so let's hop on over here. Mr. Murphy, what you doing? They ain't seen you in a while.
I know.
Address everybody.
That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all. That's all they get. That's all they get. Okay. All right.
What is that playing? Well, you're still playing in your ear.
You see something in my ear?
Oh no.
That's the background music.
Okay, gotcha.
So I guess we're not gonna get into Hold'em Gila. We get a show from Mr. Murphy today. All right, y'all. Let's see where we at. 7:06. We're gonna end on time today.
I got a truck close to at 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll call you. All right. Hold on, y'all. Let me walk into the door real quick. Look, we got like 2 minutes, but I'm gonna give y'all my be right back screen. Oh, did it go off? You know what? I forgot. It's only 10 seconds, and it should be a loop. I'm still working out this technology, y'all. Y'all heard us talking in the background. Okay, look, we might not get to it. Let me tell y'all what happened. So last night, we was booking our flights for our family trip, which we're taking a little bit later this year because my little tiny cousin Aubrey has been with us for the summer, right? So they moving to Georgia tomorrow, and so it was like, let's go ahead and book this trip because we didn't want to book it. We can't book it because she started school here, right? So because of that, we can't pull her out for a week. But anyway, we were booking the tickets, and here's why. Now I completely get all the jokes that people they be making about Spirit. You fly Spirit, Spirit and Frontier, right? They give you these cheap tickets, right? But what they don't tell you is, yeah, this price, the round trip ticket for $27, that's just to look at our price. Oh, you actually want to get on the plane and take the flight. Oh, add another $472. Okay. Are you bringing bags? How many? Okay. One big bag, it's going to go under the plane. Okay, that's another $47. You got to carry on? Yep. Okay, now with your carry on, do you want to board the plane faster? Like we can put you in priority suite. No, I don't need all that. I'll wait for my number to be called. Okay, well then that's only $30. But let us know because we could bump you up. How much is that? It's going to be $72 together. No, I'll wait for my number to be called in class 7. I'll be the last one to board the plane. No, right? Okay. All right, so when you board the plane, are you wearing shoes? Yeah, I'm wearing shoes. Okay, that's another $42. You wearing both the left and the right shoe? We was cracking. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, babe, did you even add the seats up here? He said, yeah. He added the seats for the flight going. We're supposed to just stand in the aisle on the way back. And there's 6 of us. So I'm like, oh my God. So that's what we was at the door talking about. I was like, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I'll call them tomorrow. So we will have to pay probably another $87 per person, and it's 6 of us to get our seats, right? And then after that, okay, it's one more thing we have to ask you. Once we get, and you still purchasing your ticket, you started with a round trip ticket for $47, right? All right. So we got your seats. We got this. Do you want insurance? Okay. What if an emergency cancellation last minute? Because if not, it's not insured. If you don't get it, the $10 upgrade insurance, your flight is not covered. They may charge you a cancellation fee. No, I've already got my resort booked. We're going to make the flight, right? Okay. Last thing. Do you plan on actually getting off the plane once you get to your destination? Yes. Okay. So that's going to be $117.27 per person both ways. I'm like, our flights came up to $20,000. That's exaggeration. It's an exaggeration. But I was so peeved with them. But still. And it's like, well, why don't you just change the airline? Because the other airlines, even though they give you everything is included, it was still $500 more than it was for the plane tickets. We did do Spirit. Look, we're trying to shop savvy and smart, right? Look, so it's Spirit. Then we went to Frontier looking at that. And each time we adjusted the dates and stuff to see how we can get it cheaper. We got to do it all again. And I got to put everybody's information all again, the ages of the children, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. Can we call the concierge and have them do this for us? And so that's why most of the time my husband will book all the flights and all this stuff because I ain't got the patience for it. I'm the type of person, I'm just gonna pay for the services to be done. My time is precious, and I've already be tricking off a lot of my time. So I need all the time I can get. But that's what we was talking about at the door. He was like, you got 2 things that you absolutely have to do today. Because we didn't pay for it. We got to make sure we can get the flights so us and our minor children can sit together. On Spirit, they might assign seats. Okay, one person, you sit up here in row 1. The 4-year-old is going to have to sit in row 27 between that big burly guy and that woman that keep picking her nose. Like, I'm just like, this is a nightmare. Next time, we might just need to have them on the phone. Or just go with American Airlines or United or Delta. I ain't trying to deal with all this foolishness. And he knows this about me. He knows this about me. When we were in a store the other day, getting bags for our children's, for the boys' football gear, right? He likes to price shop. He's really price conscious. I'm just like, I don't always throw caution to the wind. I like to save a buck, but if it makes me walk to 14 stores to save a buck, I'm not doing it, right? So we found Nike bags, and they were like $42, right? I'm like, we already walked around this store long enough. I see bags, perfect size. We're going to get these Nike bags. We're going to get these Nike bags that match their Nike gear. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go over to TJ Maxx you go. I'm going to sit right here. We've already been out shopping all day. So he was like, hold on. TJ Maxx was right next door. Let me see if they got it cheaper. I was like, you go ahead. I'll look on Amazon. Looked up Amazon. It was actually $10 more than the ones in the Dick's store, right? So he said, just hold on a minute. And I'm trying not to get agitated because he know I love to shop, but I hate to shop. If I could have a designer design my stuff and just come do my measurements and all of this stuff, just because it would save me time, I would absolutely do that. Him, no, he's a bargain shopper. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. He'll go through all the racks and stuff. And I absolutely hate that, right? So he goes over to the next store, call me, boom, I found 3 bags. They like $20 cheaper. I'm like, okay, boom, go over there. He got 3 Adidas bags. I'm like, so you don't at all feel some type of way that they got Nike gear and Adidas bags. He said they serve the same purpose. I'm like, why did I even come to the store? I'm like, all right, get them. So if y'all watch that video of their first game at the end, when we're getting in the truck, I didn't post it on YouTube. I think I'll post it and put it in our family playlist. You will see at the end, they got on Nike gear and they're holding Adidas bags. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'm a little too, I like things to match. At least I like to brand match, right? I'm just like, he said, I don't care. It serves the same purpose. I'm like, he said, who's really looking at it? It's flag football. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. Clearly, I'm doing too much. Y'all, I ain't got time to read this because we're at our time today. Look, we ain't never going to get to reading the rest of chapter 43 if I keep telling stories and stuff. But y'all stay here for it. Y'all just as bad as me. Y'all need to tell me, Pam, get back on track. Read the book. All right, y'all, that's it for today. We'll take a pause. Maybe we'll get to it tomorrow, but I need to end on time today. I really do. It's 7:15, y'all. It is Wednesday, September the 20th, 2023, day 106 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is a 1,486. And we read chapter 22 in the book of Fragapati. So, Father, we thank you that behind all of your amazing thought that you put forth when designing men. I mean, you ever think about how we were designed? Think about if you didn't have fingernails. How would you really be able to scratch that itch like you want to? Especially because what if you was in the middle of nowhere? Like, we could improvise if we could get a fork or something Y'all remember my fork story? We could use a wall. But what if you're in the middle of somewhere and you don't have anything available but the ground, right? I mean, you ever thought how much thought went into actually designing us, right? The eyes and the ears. And if you're missing a big toe, it throws your balance off. Like all of these things, and how the balance in your feet is connected to your ear, or even more so, like your hearing is connected to your actual balance in walking. All of these things, right? Behind our Creator's thoughtfulness and our intelligent design, love is the back of all, right? And he designed us certain types of ways, because I am sending my children here, my spirit essentially, right? And to be able to have the foresight to prepare things ahead of time before we even manifest here, even preparing the earth the way it was, and then taking parts of the earth and designing our outer shell, our embryo. Like there are rivers that run through us, just like we see the rivers that run through the earth, right? The blood that flows through our veins, it's like the rivers, the clouds, right? The thoughts, the electrical pulses. We are electric, and how electric foods intensify our electricity and cleanse and heals us. All of these things in us we can see outside of it. Y'all ever thought how much thought he put into creating us? Like even prepping everything before we became the capstone of the creation, right? It blows my mind. Behind it all is love, right? Behind everything that our Creator has created, even if we don't understand it or the way it works at the base level, the foundation of it all is love. It's amazing. It blows my mind. You pick up a rock and get to scratching, right? What if I said, but what if none of that was available, right? None of it. All right, beautiful people, that's it for today. I love y'all. Bougie. I might be a little bit bougie, cuz I just might be. But to my defense, where she at? I get it from my mama. Bougie. Yeah. I get it from my mama. Where she at? She might say something. All right, y'all, that's it. Let me get out of here. Y'all gonna get to work. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making moves.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this peculiar universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need let it away. I'm the futurist and present on this fine line. Yeah, I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.